Hey guys, welcome to another day on the shop. Today we're going to be working on the small boat. So let's get to it. So this is my 2000 16-foot BayStealth Center Console. It's got a Mercury 50 on the back, two-stroke. It works flawlessly. Well, the weather is getting better. It's in the 70s right now, so it's time to get the boat up and start looking at going fishing, because I don't like sitting there in the sweltering heat. I don't like 95 degree with 100% humidity style anything. So yeah, we've got to go through this thing. All I know right now is we got a few things we got to do. We got broken tail lights. We got holes in our fuel line. We got a dead battery. So with that, we also need to look into changing the foot oil. I haven't done that in a while, and I've got to do that. So today, right now, we have a fuel filter right here, fuel water separator. There we go. All right, we got that. We got new 5/16 hose, marine grade. We got some fuel treatment. We got some tail lights. We got 5 gallons of ethanol. So yeah, so let's get this thing up and running and do what we need to do for getting it ready for a fishing trip, because we need to go either get some crabs or some catfish. And either way you got to do it. You got to have fuel and you got to have a battery, because if it doesn't work, then what's the big deal with even trying to go? We're gonna look at the trailer lights as we replace them to make sure that that's all good. I need to eventually buy me a new strap and a couple other little things. Eventually I need to replace some fiberglass, but I also want to end up starting to look at getting new tires and starting to look at the wheel bearings and all that before they go bad and destroy themselves. So yeah, since we got all these wonderful little doodads to do, we're going to jump the battery probably to the battery up front, because I know that one's good. And once we do that, we will lower this motor down and start from there. Yeah, let's get to it. Alright, well, we got it down, and the steering on it is kind of not the best. It needs some grease, and it also needs to be turned. It hasn't been turned in a little while, and it needs just a little TLC. So since I haven't ran it really this year, but once, we're going to start with fixing the steering issue, and then we'll get into the fuel and everything else. So I'm going to pump this thing with some grease, and we're going to loosen this steering up. So I've got marine grade grease, all-purpose grease. So we're going to pump this thing up. It's always good to grease all your Zerg fittings throughout your engine. You got 2 up there on the Mercury 50, and then you got 1 down here, as well as most of the time you have them on hubs. These don't have it, they're interior, and then sometimes you have it up in like the crankshaft or the crank for the trailer and everything else. But it's always good, everything lubed up real well. So yeah, we continue this joyful excursion of cleaning a boat up for the year. Let's do it. Well, I'm trying to find out where I want to stick this, and I'm thinking right around this area to make ease of use. On top of, it's on the very back next to the fuel line that comes out, and it gives me room for the fuel bowl, priming bulb, whatever you want to call it. So Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best bet, because it just needs an in and an out, and that's it. So let's look at hooking this up here and sealing this up with some silicone so it doesn't leak, and just make it ease of use, and then we'll get the new fuel line in and on. Alright, so you need to Teflon all your ends, and I just learned a pretty cool trick. Teflon, put it in here, slides out like that, and it twists while you sit there and hold it, so you don't have to sit there and worry about this thing letting go or dropping or anything else. So yeah, pretty cool. I didn't know that. Alright, onward. So yeah, we're plugging the ends we don't need. Alright, well, we got this installed right where I want it. So it's secure. It's got stainless screws up top. Bolts would have been pretty long, and I don't have any, so I had stainless screws. Alright, on to the next thing, which is fuel line. So yeah, I got this marine grade fuel line off of Amazon. Everything's going to be in the link in the description down below. And then I've also got a new hookup to the engine for the fuel line. My old one is like 23 years old. If it's ever been replaced, I don't know. So let's open this up real quick. Oop. Alright, well, we got it open now. Let's clip these lines. This is about 10 foot. I could have ordered 25. I didn't figure I needed 25. I hope I don't need 25. So this should be long enough. If not, I can always go get more. But yeah, so we've got 10 foot of 5/16, and we're going to replace all the other line that I have on here, hopefully. If we don't do it today, we'll just leave some in place and then replace it later. But we've got this 3 foot line, and then we got the line that goes from right there in that little hole all the way up to the fuel tank up there. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to butt the two together, tape them together, and then just push it through the hole so it goes where it needs to go. This line is pretty stout. It's not very bendable. So let's do this from the fuel filter up to the fuel tank, and then yeah, hopefully that will alleviate that, and I'll have some left over, because I need about 4 foot left over, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have it. So we're going to work with what we got, and then I guess I got to go get more. So let's do this. Alright, well, now we got the new fuel line up here. We got a new worm clamp, hose clamp, whatever you want to call it. Gonna snug it just a little bit because it is long. And we're gonna get this back in here and reorganize a couple things to make it look a little bit better. I really wish there wasn't a big old gaping hole right here where they decided to drill a whole bunch of holes instead of just putting like a single hole like in the corner over here. But it is what it is. And we'll just stick this back up here. Alright. Well, my amount of fuel line is a little less than I thought. I should have ordered 25 feet. But yeah, so we got a little bit extra here. In case of anything, I might just stick that down in there and just use this end like that. So yeah, that'll just end right here abruptly, and then I'll get some more, and we'll just finish it off. For right now, this one's still kind of good. I'll order some more, but I'll pop this one off, and we'll just I got some other fuel line in there. It's not marine grade right now, but if it's on there for just temporary, it shouldn't be bad. I'm using non-ethanol, so yeah. So rigging's what it needs to be, I guess. Let's get this on here. Well, as we're learning, we might get a 90 right here to just direct that down to make it easier for this fuel line to come straight up instead of having to curve around, especially next to a power supply. Cut this fuel line off, so I'm just going to attach a piece right here, and it's not going to be too long, and yeah, you know the drill. So let's do that. All right, fuel line on. Yes, I had enough 5/16, but it's not marine grade, so I'll order another 10 foot of marine grade and I'll fix this. So this is just going to flop around right here. I mean, I could zip tie that. Now I'll just hold it a little bit better so it's not flopping. But it is what it is right now, and yeah, we got it. So fuel line, fuel filter in. Let's get to the next thing. If you've ever done gear lube or never done gear lube slash foot oil, it's not that hard, it's not that bad. First, you want some gloves because gear lube is nasty. You need a pan just up under the foot. You need some gear oil. I got 90 weight because that's what was recommended. I've got a gear oil pump with an adapter for a Mercury engine. Oh, it's got a couple adapters in it. Let's see if we can get this thing out. All right, so got a couple of different options with things, tubes and whatnot for the longer, bigger ones, and then shorter ones for stuff like this. So, all right, and then we got our other adapters right there. So right now, we're gonna see. I think this is the right one. I don't know. We'll find out when we take the screw out. So you need that and a screwdriver. All you gotta do first is we've got to loosen both these bolts because you want to make sure that you can refill it. So always loosen the top first. So loosen the bottom and take it off, let it drain, and then as you loosen the top, it will drain quicker. There we go. That's some nasty oil. Let it drain all the way out, and once it drains all the way out, then you'll hook this up to the bottom and you'll pump gear oil up into it so that as it goes up into it, it'll pour out the top, and that's when you stop pumping, and the pressure of the pressure once you put the screw back in up here will hold most of the oil down here to where you can quickly take this out and put the screw back in. So we're going to let this drain for a little bit and come back to it. All right, so to refill it, all you have is your pump, your oil screwed in the bottom snugly, and then you pump until it fills it up to the top. All right, well, gear oil is now done. If you've never done that, it's quite simple. The stuff that I used and everything else for the Mercury is down in the description and down below in the description. So check it out if you need it. All right, well, tail lights. That's what we're doing. Got these off Amazon as well. And yeah, they're LED and they are waterproof, submersible, rectangular lights. So we're going to be replacing those lights down there. As you see, this one has had a little bit of an incident, so that might have to be worked on to get it to where I need it. This one I've already taken off. It does not need to be worked on as of metal. It just needs to be swapped out. So with that, we have the light right here. It already comes with the wires sticking out of it. It has carriage bolts that go on the back to hold it in place, and yeah, So what you need to do is, these actually come wired up with the color that you need for each side. So here's my butt connectors for these. I'm going to clip these right here, and these have rubberized stuff on them, I guess, to keep them from getting water in them. But I'm going to use some heat shrink and connectors that actually have solder in them. Probably seen them somewhere on Facebook or Instagram. They work with a heat gun and they seal it up to where water cannot get in there. So that's what we're going to use. No crimping. I will say with these lights comes a good diagram of everything. Tells you the colors and everything else. I've had other lights that they don't tell you jack crap, and you sit there and you have to deal with it. And that's not fun when you have no clue of which wire and you have to look it up, and your wires, especially, they don't match. That's the other thing that sucks, is whenever you're trying to do it and you can't because color combination of your trailer wiring doesn't match what you got in the directions. That's like these. I need to rewire these because these are technically wired to the brake lights. So only amber lights, or the lights light up amber only when you hit the brakes. That's not good. All right, so yeah, these, let me go get some snips, and I'm going to snip those back. All right, first one is installed. Take off this little plastic. It is kind of rotated down. I'm not too worried about that. You can see it. And then these little things are awesome. So they are done. Pull these a little bit for some slack, and done. So I'm gonna get to the other one. Just go ahead and finish that. Even though I got to work on that with probably an axe handle or something. So let me. Well, dealing with wiring, if you've never used these little things that you see all over the internet now, they work absolutely great. They're cheap, and you can get a lot of them. So I love using them for automotive and for marine use, because they work good. They're better than conventional butt connectors. Not as cheap as them, but they're better. So, all right, got both tail lights in. Haven't tested them yet because I don't have my keys to my, well, I don't need my keys to my boat. I haven't hooked it up yet. That's just, that's screwed for right now. I don't really care. So we've knocked out a few things. Yeah, we can actually start looking at putting some fuel in here, priming it, and running it. And we can also check out these lights and make sure that they're good, even though that one's like pointed at the ground. But I guess pointed at the ground, having a light is better than not having a light and getting pulled over or in a wreck because somebody can't see you at night or see that you are stopping. I would like to change these to where they are on at night instead of just when I hit the brakes. So I'm gonna have to look at some wiring, and I'll have to fix that. Yeah, let's get to priming this thing and some fuel in it, and we're gonna run it. All right, so we got keys, we got 5 gallons of fuel. Yeah, the easier way is I've got yeah, hold on. I got seafoam. The easier way is to probably dump it in here before I try and dump it down there. So that's what I'm gonna do, because it's gonna be a pain in the butt to fill up and not get fuel everywhere, and then try and put this in there. Let's do that real quick. Help clean everything out. Probably a little more than I need, but engine might be a little bit dirtier than it needs to be too. So 5 gallons, and then needs probably another 5. I got like 3 or 4 more of unleaded, ethanol free. So yeah, I'll go get some more after this. Oh. Let's prime this puppy up. All right, get in there. There it is. All right, good. we are ready. Got water so we don't burn up our impeller for water. All right, in. Battery's not liking me. Stand by. All right, well, battery's dead on the boat, so I got the truck hooked up to the engine. I had to take the spark plugs out because it hasn't ran in a while to kind of, I guess, knock off some crud. I don't know, but it wouldn't turn over too good. Now, turn it over great. Yeah, it's getting there. Look at that, a 2-stroke. It's not gonna stay cranked because it needs to get that fuel in there. All right, well, we got this thing running good, warmed up, idled. It ran high, ran low, didn't stall out anymore. Got the fuel in there, cleaned it out a little bit. Now my issue is the speaker's not working. Can't win for losing with things, especially boats. So yeah, it could just be the wire. It's got a couple splices in there. So you gotta look at that now. But as of everything else, I think it works. I had to check the bilge pump, and I had to check the freshwater pump for the live well, which has trash in it. It needs to go away. But other than that, we got our lights on. I need to test them, and yeah. So I swapped these around, so these should my amber lights should turn on whenever the lights are on and not when I hit the brake lights. The last thing I'm gonna have to do is get new tires, and I'm gonna order those this week and pop those off that are on there and put new ones on those wheels. My recommendation is, if you have a way to get wheels and tires on and off, do it. It's a heck of a lot cheaper to order tires than it is a wheel tire combo or just a tire or whatever else from like Walmart or wherever. It's like $120 for a wheel tire combo, when if you just order it offline you can have like 2 to 4 tires for $120. And if you have the means of a tire machine, friend with the tire machine, or go to Harbor Freight and get a manual one, you can do it. So yeah, tires are next. It won't take long to do that. I have 2 sets of wheels, and so I'll have a spare. So if I order 3, or just order 2 and just keep one of these old ones as a spare. But they're just getting older. This one might be my spare. This is a white wheel. The other one's a galvanized. So, and then after this, on this project, I need to start looking at fixing my trailer because all the wood is rotting away, and I need new fenders. So yeah, but as of this project for today, we accomplished a good bit. It doesn't seem like it. All I gotta do is get some new, some more marine fuel line, and we should be good. So yeah, hope you like this content. Like it. Subscribe for more, because there is going to be more of this. There's going to be a couple fishing trips soon, because I need to get this thing out, and I need some crabs and some catfish in my freezer, and that's just the easy stuff I like to catch. Plenty of other things out there. One day I want to take this to the oil rigs and kind of see how deep we can fish. But yeah, so further ado, thank you for joining in to another episode, and until next time.